It's a Thai lady in the distance. She's going to give you a massage. Maybe a happy ending.
Depends how you ask.
And certainly don't ask the way Ciaran did when he was how old?
Probably like 18.
18, 19.
In Indonesia, yeah.
Bit higher, bit lower.
Yeah, I was like,
You should...
you can't hold the microphone, but I was saying you're treating you like doing it like you're a fucking Ant and Dec interviewing people on the street.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing. It's just not how. It's not.
You fucking such a hate. Is your fucking nasty dirty pasta done?
My nasty dirty pasta.
Is it soon?
Yeah, I probably shouldn't have started the episode to be honest because I've got to take shit out soon.
I'm boiling my egg in Ciaran's pasta.
I'm really pissed off about it.
Fucking get over it.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just like, a bit lower, and then she was like, here, and like went to just like a bit lower, but not my dick, and I was like, yeah, a bit lower, and I just like basically just like kept telling her to go a bit lower, and then it was just clear that she wasn't going to wank me off, unless maybe if I just like put money on the table.
Yeah,
but she
you can't do it for free.
She probably thought I thought it was included,
yeah,
which I kind of did.
Cheeky.
It was, I paid a good bit of money for the thing.
How much did you pay for it?
I don't remember.
Probably not a lot. And you didn't pay for it. Fuck off.
I did.
No, fucking mummy and daddy probably paid for it. You tried to get your mummy and daddy to pay for you to get jerked off.
Well,
I'm calling them up right now.
They didn't really pay for it. They gave me the money, and I chose what to do with the money.
So yeah, so then that means by effect you were trying to get your mummy and daddy to pay to fucking get you jerked off by some fucking little fucking Thai lady.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
I'd like us to read.
Shagged a prosy in their bed once as well.
That's so nasty.
Yeah.
You fucked a prostitute, a dirty, nasty, dirty prostitute, probably still covered in the seminal emissions of other men, and you fucked her in your parents' fucking wedding bed.
Here's what I should add to that as a caveat, though. It was that wasn't their permanent abode. Most of the time they weren't there, but when they were, that was their bedroom. But it was
so it's still their fucking wedding
bed. And the reason I did it, if I
don't try and justify this.
Well, I'm just explaining it. I'm not justifying it. I don't need to justify anything. The reason I did it was because it was on the top floor. It was like a loft bedroom, and it was separate from all the other rooms. And they had like tenants living in the house, like students and shit. So I didn't want them to like hear me having sex with a prostitute.
Was this the loud black prostitute?
No. They definitely heard her. Yeah. No, this was the one who was like clearly quite new to it and weirdly hot for a prostitute and was clearly not enjoying it at all.
Yeah.
And hadn't even learned to disassociate. Pretty sad.
It's quite horrible that you did that, and you definitely supported like some horrible, nasty like sex trafficking ones. Like when you went there and it was like all the Chinese girls and one of them was sick and stuff.
Yeah, but
just go to their nasty little room.
When you think about it,
pay their pimps.
When you think about it, wasn't I the victim really? When you really think about it, just give it some time.
It's so nasty. I can't believe you did that. I mean, not to act like I didn't spend like.
I went to prostitutes. Like I was a teenager. I went to prostitutes. It's not. I didn't like. It's fucking stupid. It's hypocritical. Like my ex-girlfriend said loads of shit about that. About like it's so, and I was like, yeah, fine. Like now I would feel uncomfortable about it. But the point is, it's like you can't fucking talk. The shit people buy and eat and stuff. Like it's a terrible business. I didn't know at the time that it was like that.
Yeah, you did.
No, I didn't. I didn't think that I was visiting. Like it was just like I was just like, oh, it's just fucking dark, but it's just fucking prosies. They were what they've always fucking been. You know, like a lot of people you fucking pay money to do things aren't having a fucking good time of it.
I don't think that's a good justification for supporting the probably like literal sex trafficking.
It's a reasonable enough explanation for why when I was like 18 I used to do it and didn't really think much of it. And, you know, like...
I like how I imagine like all holier than thou when I didn't spend like fucking 12 hours looking for prostitutes when we broke up.
Yeah. And you also were paying for cam girls, I found out the other day.
And also, little fun piece of information. When I was like 16, I thought that no one would ever have sex with me. So I thought that I would lose my virginity to a male prostitute. And then I thought really... Then my self-esteem was so tragic. Fuck off pouring water when I'm talking about my tragic story.
I've got to get my dindins ready.
Anyway, maybe you put the correct amount of water in your pasta, this wouldn't be a problem. You wouldn't be interrupting my story. Okay. Anyway. So yeah, but my self-esteem was so low that I didn't think a normal male prostitute would want to fuck me. So then I started looking at prostitutes for like retarded people. like the disabled. And there was one guy I started talking to, and he like fucked like literally retarded and disabled people, and he was like telling me about it, and he was telling me about like the weird swings he had to get used and stuff, like when they like fucking couldn't use their limbs and shit. I nearly lost my virginity to him. I nearly paid like fucking £100.
I will say, I've always wondered when you see.
And then I would have gotten that money from my dad, and then by effect, my dad would have paid me to have my virginity taken by a prostitute for retarded people.
In effect, yeah.
Take the fucking microphone.
No, I've got to do stuff in a minute.
Well, I just don't like how stressful you're making it.
I'm telling you, just keep it at arm's length. It's a very simple concept. I'm not making it stressful. Just stop bringing it right up to your mouth like you're at a fucking grime show. You're doing a set at a rave.
What the fuck's wrong with that?
It's just not suitable for the podcast.
I mean, when people have...
Who's taking the petrol for the mag? Das Feind ist right now possessed by Esco Spirit.
No.
She didn't want to
So
do
you
it.
don't really know the words.
She loves doing it. Well, sounds like I do. Sounds like I know the words and the flow and the intonation and the tonality and just the vibe. There's a vibe that you don't really, you know, you ain't on that. Yeah, it's those types of prosies where they're sort of like sex therapists and they shag like disabled people and stuff.
But how sad? I don't feel like my story got enough of a reaction.
Oh yeah, sorry, I'm just quite high, but
it was a really tragic tale.
I've got to be honest, you've been coming fast in this episode a little bit, and now you've been all needy and sensitive. So just
but it's just like, you know,
slow up a minute, as Americans would say.
My self-esteem was so low that I thought I could only lose my virginity to a prostitute, and then it was so low that I thought the only prostitute that would willingly take my virginity was one for retards.
Yeah,
isn't that like one of the most tragic things you ever heard? Can you admit that is really tragic?
Yeah, I was going to get onto it. Yeah, I would say it's definitely tragic.
I'm sorry,
but just in
that's
light,
like one of the most tragic things I've ever heard.
In light of your sort of lack of generosity and responding to things I say, and lack of grace, I might add.
You go into like poor little like fucking Chinese sex trafficked, no fucking passport having, fucking literally like tortured fucking human fucking pig carcass fucking prostitutes. Is when you're horny and 18, fucking blowing your whole fucking completely utterly undeserved fucking student loan for a university you went to for fucking like 2 weeks.
A lot of it was actually my money that I earned.
Oh, where'd you get that money from?
Working.
Yeah, but your brother, it's not really the same thing.
I don't know what your problem is. Very immature. Anyway, those people, those prosies that are like sex therapists, I'm just like...
Lots of them.
I'm always trying to... Every time I see it, I'm like... My brain is just like, there has to be like a... What's the angle? What's going on here? And then sometimes I'm like, maybe... I think that some of them, they're just like... I think they're just generally quite nice. Like, they're just like...
Nah.
Yeah, it's a good
if you're generally just a nice person, you become like a nurse or some shit. You're not fucking sitting there fucking
but they kind
wanking
of
off
end up,
like fucking vegetable Vietnam beds.
What I'm saying is I think there's a decent portion of them who are actually like, if you met them, you think, oh, that's a cool person who's actually kind of doing quite a nice thing, and they're like must have quite a lot of sensitivity to their work. But obviously there are probably also a couple of real bad eggs in there who maybe enjoy that, you know.
They have the ones in China that do it for like, they walk around dressed like nurses and they wank off the fucking retards.
Yeah.
And the veggies.